Back on home ice and looking to hunt down the Preds for a big 2 points. We get you set for the Oilers and the Nashville Predators right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola with you alongside Joaquin Gage and Benny Thompson. Of course, the pregame show brought to you by our good friends and partners, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Join the conversation. Text us 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat if you want to get in on that side of it over on YouTube. And let's bring in Joaquin and Benny as we get ready for this one. We noticed in the nasty chat some positivity from Shaggy. I am being completely sarcastic. First comment, another must-win game. Oilers have let themselves low margin for error with their lackadaisical crappy play. Although not really positive, factual. Well, they should win.
I mean, Reed and Jay, obviously Shaggy doesn't listen to them much because they broke it down. What constitute must win, can't lose, all the different things you say. They had but must win. That's when you're down in a series, right? I don't think this is a must win, but yeah, I think it would be an appreciated win. would be good considering what happened last game. But no, back home, you always, I don't know what it is, but those games after a road trip always seem to be a little bit more difficult for guys, right?
Yeah.
They get home and that first 10 seems like they're still on the plane coming home. So Oilers can't afford to do that tonight.
No, that's true. That's true. Benny Thompson, how you doing?
Good. Just honestly a little sore from yesterday with the charity hockey game we had. Then also I had ball hockey right after, so I am exhausted today. Slept well, but excited for a good game tonight. That should be between the Oilers and Preds. And I mean, yeah, I don't know if it's a must win or not, but I mean, I think it's. You can't waste any games down the stretch here. So this is kind of how it's going to have to be.
Game number 68 for the Orange and Blue. We're going to get to the question of the night. But before we do that, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who supported, donated, came out yesterday to the Heavy Hockey Showdown. Team Heavy Hockey won in dramatic fashion yesterday after we nullified a 2-goal deficit in the last minute and a half. And then they scored one really late, controversial. Their guy was like all over our goalie in the crease, and they banged home some loose change. But great time, and plenty of money raised in support of SACE, the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. I know that was greatly appreciated. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who came out, and it was a lot of fun. And we're all sore, and SI joints are in pain and flaring up, and hips are in pain, all that good stuff, but for a good cause. So big thank you to everybody who took part and helped out and was a part of it. All right, Benny, lay on the question of the night for us, if you don't mind.
So the question of the night, the Oilers start their 4-game homestand here with the Preds tonight, and they got the Sharks Tuesday, Panthers Thursday, and the Lightning Saturday. What are your expectations for the Oilers? What's their record after their, or I should say, throughout the 4 games? What's the record of this homestand? Let us know. All
right, Joaquin, do you want to take a crack at that?
Are we looking at record or points, Penny? What I think.
You know what? Let's go points. How many points they got?
I think they got to at least replicate what they did in the last 4, right?
Yeah, good point.
So 5 points.
Yep.
Right. I think that's. With this team where they're at and what they need to do, I think that should be the minimum that they attain over these next 4 games. Look, they're in the crunch, and there's a young team very hungry to try to get to a lot of these guys' first playoff experience. They can see it, so you got to keep them below you here. And the old adage, just worry about yourself, take care of business yourself. A lot of people were saying, and you have to agree, that the Oilers' future is in their hands right now.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to scoreboard watch, but you definitely, I think I said it on the postgame or pregame show, that you definitely don't want to be scoreboard watching the last 3-4 games of the season. If it comes down to, you hope it's for home ice advantage, not making the playoffs or not, right?
Right. Just a quick refresher. The Oilers are still third in the Pacific Division, 3 points up on San Jose, who they are going to face this week coming up. 2 points back of the Ducks for second in the division. The Ducks have dropped 2 in a row. They're 6-4 in their last 10. And then the Golden Knights, with a big 2-game win streak, you can't even really call it that, have now surged into first in the Pacific Division with 76 points in 67 games. So it's right there for them. And like you said, Joaquin, they control their fate. And the thing they need to do is just win games, collect points, as you outlined. I'll do points and wins on this trip for the question, or this homestand for the question of the night. You need to win this today. I don't care how. Yep. You need to win Tuesday on that game against San Jose. I don't care how, preferably in regulation. Listen, Florida's a wounded team. You need to win that one. Take advantage. Get your revenge on them for the Stanley Cup final loss again last year. Whatever motivation you need on Thursday, use it to get 2 points. And then I fear that game for the Oilers on Saturday against Tampa Bay, because that's going to be the stiffest competition that they face obviously on this homestand. And Tampa is at 84 points right now, although struggling a little bit lately. 3-7 in its last 10 are the Lightning. So I'm going to say 3 wins. I'm going to say 6 points minimum. I don't care how you do it. Just get it done. So let us know how you feel about this homestand coming up. How many points, how many wins for the Oil as they take on the Preds. They get the Sharks, they get the Panthers, and then they wrap it up on Saturday with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I see CJ in Chicago is in the nasty chat, and she says, nothing cures a St. Patty's Day hangover like an Oilers win. Go Oil. And she was out with Jasmine in Chicago.
Wow.
I know.
Sounds like a party.
I saw some Instagram posts, and it looked like a party. So thank you, CJ. Take care of Jazzy, or vice versa. And we hope you guys had a blast. It looked like it from what I saw, at least. All right, let's get into some lineup stuff, and then we'll get to game changers with Joaquin Gage. And when Gager's on, we call them Gage changers. So your lineups for tonight. Listen, I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, what was he officially listed at this morning? Game time decision?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So as of right now, McDavid between Savoy and Hyman, Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Kapanen, Dickinson between Szymanski and Roslovic, Henrique between Jones and Frederick is how they skated today. Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Murphy, Wallman with Stasny, and then RNH game time decision, obviously birth of a bebe. And so we'll see if the Nuge is ready to rock. Joaquin, as the only father on this show right now, what's it like being a dad and having a newborn around? Like, is he zapped for energy? I have no point of reference outside of what you and my friends tell me.
Well, I only know from experience with one. This is his second, right? So
yeah.
The one thing I can attest to is your first one, you think you have no time. The second one, you realize how much time you actually had with just one. So that's you go from everyone said it, you go from zone to man, and it's a little bit different. But they've been through this before, like the handing off at night, things like that. I don't know what their schedule would be. I'm assuming that Ryan gets to sleep through a little bit of the night, probably, maybe. We'll see. But it's exciting. You know, you're so focused on the birth of your new child. Like, oh, I got to go to work. But sometimes it's good that way, because you're not really. Not that you're not thinking about the game, but you're flipping that switch on a lot later on, I think, than you normally would. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to play. So to me, guys, if I was going to go on Play Alberta right now, I would say if Nuge is in the lineup, that I would put him down for a point for sure, just because probably a little bit excited, and just the growing of your family and getting there. And look, he's one of the guys that's facilitated a lot of points to two other guys we'll talk about later that have had success against the Nashville Predators.
Now, I don't follow everybody on social media, especially like, has the baby arrived? I'm looking on Instagram. I'm looking on Google. I can't find anything. I know they like to keep things private, but do we know?
I haven't seen anything on social media the past couple of days.
Usually they put out like a congratulations. Oilers fans, a lot of them are all over it, but I know that they're expecting another baby. And then the reason why I didn't play in St. Louis was for personal reasons. And we're assuming it was the baby was on the way. So if that's the case, we'll see. Game time decision for the Nuge, and we'll let you know during warm up. All right, let's get to the Preds for tonight. Ryan O'Reilly between Philip Forsberg and Jonathan Marchessault. Eric Holla with Steven Stamkos and Luke Evangelista. Matthew Wood between Reed Schaefer and Zachary Leroux. Fedor Svechkov with Tyson Jost and Ozzy Weisblatt on his flanks. And then on defense, Brady Shea with Roman Josi, Nicholas Hague with Justin Barron, Nick Perbix with Ryan Ufko. Your starting goalies for tonight, 28-year-old Connor Ingram, 9-6-2 on the season, 279 GAA, 891 save percentage, 1 shutout in 20 games this season. Ingram versus the Preds lifetime, 4-2-2 record, 372 GAA, 890 save percentage in 8 games against the Preds in his career. And then at the other end of the rink, we're anticipating 30-year-old UC Saros, 23-19-7 with a 315 goals against average, 893 save percentage in 50 games this year. No shutouts for Saros, but it's been a tougher year for the Preds. 4-8-1 is his record. Lifetime versus the Oil, 344 GAA, 904 save percentage with 2 shutouts in 14 games versus Edmonton over the course of his career. Let's go to the Say the Read Sport Medicine Injury Report. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Say the Read Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.saythereadsportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. For Edmonton, Ty Emberson out, Colton Dock out, Curtis Lazar IR, arm, Matthias Janmark LTIR, done for the season. He had shoulder surgery. As for the Preds, Adam Wilsby, lower body, day to day. That is the injury report brought to you by Say the Read Sport Medicine, www.saythereadsportmed, or call 780-460-9977. Did somebody give us an answer? Who follows the Wags? Did we get an answer in the inbox? Who follows the Wags? Tell me about it.
Haven't seen anything.
Okay.
I've been looking on Twitter too. I was kind of expecting some type of announcement recently, and it hasn't been. So I don't know if it's happened yet, or if it has, they're keeping it private for a little bit. But I have yet to see it be announced.
Okay. Well, we'll keep you posted if we hear anything, because we love that kind of gossip. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Let's get to Game Changers with our very own Joaquin Gage. Game Changers is always brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for almost 20 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current one. Check him out, damonbunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Pardon me. Number 1, Joaquin, Apex Predators, McDavid, and Draisaitl.
Look, we all know how successful these guys have played against the Nashville Predators over the last, 6-7 years?
Yeah.
Leon's feasted against these guys, and Connor hasn't been too shabby too. And, guys, I was thinking today, when's the last time they've played well? I'm not going to say they haven't played well, but when are those 3-point, 4-point, 5-point nights between the two, and they were just unstoppable, right? So I think they're, as my partner on EST Afternoons would say, they're due for one of these big games. They had some big goals. They had some big plays last game against the St. Louis Blues. Couldn't get over the line. I would look to those guys easily repeating one of these performances where they just light up the Preds. This is I think they're in the right wheelhouse to have an enormous game.
It's also
go ahead, Benny.
Quick close. It is also a Leon Draisaitl bobblehead night with his. Like, I mean, come on! It is. We are set perfectly for a fantastic night. I think from 29 at least. Might be sprinkling a little bit of money on that. We'll see.
Ooh, it's meant to be, is what you're saying. Hey, Draisaitl versus Nashville, 31 games played, 29 goals, 25 assists, big numbers. That's 54 points with a plus 13. And just 4 penalty minutes, and you go down to Connor McDavid and his numbers against the Nashville Predators. I mean, his numbers against pretty much any team are very impressive. But in 26 games versus the Preds over the course of his career, 16 goals, 32 assists, 48 points, a plus 5 with 12 penalty minutes. So pretty good against the Nashville Predators, those apex Predators, McDavid and Draisaitl. That was point number 1 here on Game Changers. Let's go to point number 2 with Gager. I should say Gage Changers. I apologize, Joaquin. I have to give them the respect they deserve. Number 2, turn the electric fence on. What are you talking about?
Well, just like in Jurassic Park, the electric fence went out, and what happened? The island went right into the pooper.
Well said.
And I'm equating the electric fence to the Oilers' defense. Sometimes the connection isn't always there. Last game, you saw it connected for about 50 minutes, I would say, of really good, solid defense, and someone unplugged it for a little bit. I want to see that type of play, that physical play, not allowing the middle of the ice recognition, the puck management, act when there is a chance. If nothing's there, don't look for the sexy play. Make the 80% play to get it out and live to fight another day type of attitude. Because when you look at the lineups, I think if you do play that way, just that disciplined style of hockey, you will wear down the Nashville Predators and then possibly take advantage of some mistakes that they're making. I just want to see a more mature defensive game through all 4 lines and all 3 pairs of D. Hey, Joaquin, where's the GOAT? I had to. I'm sorry. I don't know. Where'd it go? My coffee's jiggling right now, Tommy.
Oh, no. Life finds a way. All right. That was point number 2 here on Gauge Changers with Joaquin. Turn the electric fence on. Obviously, a Jurassic Park reference. I like that. Number 3, hunt in packs, Joaquin. I like it.
So, again, when you look at the lineups, right, the Nashville Predators, their first 2 lines, good. First line, solid. But then when you get into the Dickinson and the Frederick line, I really think they can take advantage of lines 3 and 4 of the Nashville Predators, right? So by hunting in packs, I think not only maybe I'm not even looking for them to get on the board, which would be great, but I really want to see lines 3 and 4 keep that offensive pressure, build some momentum. So when Leon gets out there or Connor gets out there, they can feed off the momentum of those other 2 lines, a nice physical style of game, getting in on their D. I think they can really make the difference. That's kind of the intangible. I think that's going to be key to the victory for the Oilers tonight is the play of the bottom 6 against that bottom 6 of the Nashville Predators, because they should have an advantage there.
They definitely should. Edmonton has dominated Nashville. Obviously, like we talk about the apex Predators, McDavid and Draisaitl, who have feasted on the Preds, for lack of a better term. But I was just going over some notes, getting ready for the show. Edmonton 7-1-2 in the last 10 against Nashville. They won 9 of the last 10 home games against the Preds. 5 of the last 6 in general. They did lose the last game that they faced the Preds earlier this season. That was an anomaly, a blip on the radar, if you will. So usually these are games that the Oilers take advantage of, and we'll see if they could do that again tonight at Rogers Place. All right, let us know your thoughts, 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat as well. Let's go to Barry the Cheater. Says, I hope the Oilers have learned their lesson and play some expletive defense tonight. Yeah, like, okay, we'll laugh about that for a second, but we'll leave that alone. But like, Joaquin, we watched that game the other day at the Ice House, and like, they had it in their hands in St. Louis, and then with just under 8 minutes left, the Blues get one, and then late in the game they tie it, and then with just over 8 seconds left, they win it in overtime. It's just, where was that third goal? Where was that fourth goal? Like, why couldn't they be Predators in that moment? And they just kind of let the Blues hang around there. When I thought back about that game later, I'm like, that's kind of disappointing in how they weren't able to get the third goal. I know not Nugent Hopkins, but McDavid had the post, and we were talking about that on the post game as well. But it's like, just take a game away from a weaker opponent. And do you think they'll be feisty because of that loss the other day in OT?
I think so. I want to see. Just like when Murphy was his first couple games, although I'm assuming he still does this, but you saw the communication even before the draws. And I'm looking at the second goal that the St. Louis Blues scored. Clean draw, straight back. I would like to see just a little bit more, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a little more oomph in those situations, right? There was a couple reaching, trying to get at it. You're up a goal, face off in your own end. That's when you really have to bear down. You can't lose that draw clean, because you saw what happened. A quick chance, boom, it's in the back of the net. At least it's a 50-50 draw, or tying it up, or getting a chance to for one of your teammates to come in and help out, or get in the way of the shot, right? So the attention to detail, the full 60 minutes of concentrating, even when before the draw, before the face-off, during the play. I just want to. They have to keep that going. It can't be 50 minutes. Teams are too good, and especially a team like. There are some experienced guys on the Nashville Predators that will make you pay if you make those kind of mental mistakes, right? So you can't be puck watching tonight. Shoulder checking, communication. I'm really going to be focused in that defensive zone today, Tommy, to see what type of game they come back with after the last two, where you had a 2.5 periods of good defensive hockey, but that still doesn't get the job done. It's got to be 60.
You made a good point too, Joaquin, watching the highlights again. You said that the Blues had to make really good shots to beat Ingram, and they did.
Yes.
Like, I'll give them credit for that, but still, that doesn't take away from the disappointment, the fact that the Blues did make good shots, and there were good players that were given opportunities and shooting lanes, and they hit their spots. So there's that as well. Benny, do you want to chime in on that, or do you want me to get to a text? Because there's Ryan from SAS kind of echoed some of what Joaquin was saying.
Yeah, get to the text. Yeah, it was
okay.
Same thing for Joaquin.
Yeah. Ryan from SAS says, a lot of good things for the first 40 last game and through most of the road trip, with the exception of Dallas. Oilers need to assert themselves physically early in the game. Bottom six needs momentum gaining shifts. I like that concept. Well said, Ryan. That doesn't necessarily mean scoring. The whole group needs to continue to clean up their neutral zone play, more specifically defending off the rush. No free ones from the goal crease out. Yeah, a lot of waving at pucks we saw from the defense. Joaquin, you and I were demonstrating that at Ice House the other day. A lot of like, oh, look at this. Like, what are you doing? That's not how you defend. So don't do that.
I was actually watching a bit of the Bass tournament today, Tommy. So, but just to see, that can't happen. No, it's not a fishing derby out there today. It's full contact.
And to the physical point that Ryan made there, I remember the first, I think 3 games after the deadline, there was some type of message, or just for whatever reason, the start of the games in those first 3 games after the deadline were extremely physical, like playoff level physicality to it. And I feel like that's died down a little bit throughout that road trip. I would love to see them go out and start off this game, especially on that bottom six. That fourth line with Frederick and Jones. Go bang and crash a little bit, right? Like, the text summarizes it pretty well. Just like, they don't have to necessarily score, because you have the guys to do it, especially against this Nashville team. Just keep momentum going. Get the ozone starts for your top line, so that to allow them to take over the game in that way.
Yeah, and that's why Max Jones got the call up over the guys that are younger and score a lot more points in the AHL. They want tenaciousness, feistiness, physical play because they lost that in Colton Dock. So Max Jones is certainly capable of doing that. He's a big body guy, has some skill, yes, but go hit some dude, bang some dudes, as Matt Hendricks used to yell at the guys in the locker room before they went out on the ice, and bang and crash and hurt the defense of the other team and make them think twice and be not too eager to go back there and get pucks. So we'll see if they can do that. Gager, anything else noteworthy from tonight that you think people should keep an eye on?
I really like the fact that Ingram's back in, right? That's going to be probably the topic of discussion going into these next 4 games. How do you deploy this? I think it's a discussion with Ingram to see how he's doing. You're talking to Aubrey, but this is Ingram's net, and games are too important. I always go back to Mac T telling me it's hard to get you in there, Gager, because it's so difficult to take my best player out of the game, and that was Tommy Salo. And Connor Ingram has asserted himself as the number one guy outside of the market. Listening to people, they say they still have to goaltending to deal with. I go back to the last game. They had to be perfect shots to get past him. That's I don't know what more you can ask of this guy. If he can keep doing that, and you can tighten the screws a little bit with this defensive structure and play a little bit more on your toes, he's going to have a lot of success, because I think there's a calming influence that he has when he's in there that makes the defense and the way everyone plays D a little bit more relaxed. When there is a chance, they know there's a good chance he's gonna stop it, right? So I play him until he says no mas, really, or he looks like he needs a break. That's it.
I think that season where you backed up Tommy Salo, he was an all-star that year, because he had back-to-back seasons, I think, when he was in Edmonton, where he ended up at the all-star game. But you're right, he did play a ton, and points were super valuable back then because the Oilers would eke their way in 7th or 8th. But I think that year the Oilers finished. You guys finished 6th. Yeah, it was a pretty good season.
It was a really good season.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, this is the backup goaltending glue guy. Definitely held his own back there, in my opinion.
Kept it all together. Good in the room, as Mac T used to say.
Good in the room. One more for you, Gager, before we let you go, and then we go into the Oilers locker room to hear from them. And I'll even throw this to Benny and everybody listening and watching. Where's the trust level with Tristan Jarry right now?
Oh, boy. Great question, Tommy.
As low as you can get.
Yeah, it's. Are you talking with teammates or coaching staff?
Just for you, like personally, when you look at it, just use your analyst perspective on it, because I don't have very high levels of trust for him when he goes in, unfortunately, right now.
No, and I think you see it too with the way that everyone plays. It's a little bit of anxiousness when guys are trying to do a little bit too much to not allow shots, right? And that's pulling them out of the normal way that they would defend. And he hasn't given the coaching staff any reason to trust putting him in there, right? Other than, gosh, I just want to get this guy going. So if something does go wrong, we have a capable, I guess, I know it's supposed to be a 1A, but it's a 1B for sure for Tristan Jarry right now, and maybe even a number 2. But you have to. I don't know how you do this, Tommy. He doesn't look comfortable in that. You said he's swimming. His confidence level is not there. But maybe, just maybe, by having Connor Ingram kind of roll here, he can just get back to work with Aubrey and start just refining the game, making things like not being smaller, but refine the movements a little bit more. So it doesn't look like he's like reaching for pucks every single time. Yeah. You watch Ingram play. When do you see him reach for pucks? You know,
He's aggressive.
He's really impressive when he does, and he does have the ability to make the big save right, too. But his positioning, his level of calmness in there, I think, is very infectious, and it's what the Edmonton Oilers need right now. Especially, any team needs that when you're struggling to keep the puck out of your own net, like the Edmonton Oilers have been, more so over the course of the last 10, 15 games.
Fair point. Benny, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, there's no, to me, there should be really any trust in Jari. And I saw the quote earlier today, and I know we'll get to it with Knoblauchsville. He highlighted, his trust in Jari. He basically labeled Connor Ingram as a starter for the rest of the season, which rightfully so. He's deserved it. And he said that the confidence for Tristan Jari is going to have to come from practice. To me, I'm reading in between the lines there. I don't think they're going to want to throw him in pretty much any game unless it's a back-to-back or if it's a weaker opponent. I think they're going to really try to have Aubrey work with him and just try to figure out what's going on with him. I've been hearing people saying they would watch him at practice and they're going, like he's even letting goals in at practice. It's just like, seem like he can't catch a break right now, and it's just not going well for him. So to me, especially at a time where points are extremely valuable for this team is not guaranteed a playoff spot. You cannot be rolling the dice with a guy that has low confidence right now. And Tristan Jari, Connor Ingram has done nothing but play solid. Doesn't blow you away, but doesn't let in the bad goal. He plays like a solid goaltender. So you got to ride with him, man. This is the spot you're in. This is the spot you put yourself in back when you made that trade. This is what you got to roll with.
And I think we made just a throwaway comment on the postgame show Friday about like sending him down for a conditioning stint. He can't be sent down. There was a million things going on. And I think CB radio guy was having a little conniption that we mentioned that. And he sent us about 9 texts angrily telling us, he can't, right? Yes, we know that. And we've discussed it on all of our other shows. And I think in the moment when we had 50 people coming up to us saying goodbye and hello and asking us to play songs, even though we're not the DJs, we might have slipped up and said that. So CB radio guy, sorry. We're really, really sorry. Got a quick update here from Reed Wilkins. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is on the ice. So that's a good sign. We'll get you new lines when they go through. Gager, what's for dinner?
Chicken tacos.
Delicious. Oh, are the same ones that you made a couple weeks ago in the studio?
A little bit different. I'll send you a picture, Tommy.
Send me a pic. Those were delicious. They're so good. All right, brother. Good stuff. And we'll catch up with you on the postgame show.
Right, boys. See you after.
There's Joaquin Gage with Gage Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Got a couple of texts that have come in via the inbox. And then, of course, the Nasty Chat. I see you, Nasty Chat, doing some scoreboard watching.
A lot of the Nash chats have been talking about the out-of-town score board. The Senators doing a favor, beating the Sharks 7-4. So that's good for the Oilers. Ducks are up 1-0 on the Canadians, though, in the first period. So.
What uniforms are the Ducks wearing? Because I saw a comment said these Ducks jerseys are fire.
Let me watch a replay of Leo Carlson's goal. Oh, they're just the regular aways, but they are very nice.
Oh, are they wearing the orange helmets?
Yes.
With the away jerseys?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Very, very, very nice. I like I don't mind that. The rebrand. They went back to the Mighty Duck and all that. I love it. It's a little bit nostalgic, but also just a great look.
Yep. Well said and agreed. Short poor boy says Ingram deserves a contract extension next year. We need a calm goalie like that. Southside Stoby. What's up, Southside? Stoby says Skinner/Ingram tandem and Kulak still here would be nice. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. And then Quaddy says trust Campbell a little more than Jari at this point. Eesh.
Just to touch on that, like I understand, Stuart Skinner was not, the most loved here. And
oh no, he took a lot of heat.
He took a lot of heat, but Stuart Skinner never got this bad as what Tristan Jari is at. Like Skinner had his bad moments, 100%. He was pulled out of playoff series, right? Like he had his bad goaltending stints for sure. But this is maybe a new low for Oilers goaltending in however many years they've been searching for one. Like Jack Campbell had a pretty bad run here for a little bit and was at this kind of territory where Tristan Jarry is at right now. Yeah, like at least with Skinner, like yes, his lows were low, but he could usually kind of build himself out of that. I guess we'll see if Jarry has that, but right now, man, he's pretty much unplayable. It's tough to see.
Even like Coach Mike in the inbox says, is Jarry giving off Jack Campbell vibes?
Yeah,
it kind of feels like that, yeah. Coach Mike. That correlation has been made by a few people already. So yeah. I think the answer is a reluctant yes. Yeah. Unfortunately. All right. So scoreboard watching, we'll keep you updated as well. And then we are going to go inside the Oilers locker room right away here. I will get to, pardon me, this Dr. Pepper's hitting me. We're going to get to the game day odds check brought to you by our good friends and partners and presenting sponsor, Play Alberta. When you play in Alberta, it stays in Alberta, safe and secure. The revenue generated from Play Alberta, it's always redirected to Alberta's General Revenue Fund, which is used to support programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. Your money line for tonight, Edmonton was at minus 185 at Play Alberta about 45 minutes ago. Nashville plus 156. The over-under, not surprisingly, set at 6.5. Over at minus 154. The under at plus 116. If you're going to put a little sprinkle on the game, use your game sense. And a big thank you to presenting sponsor, Play Alberta, for being partnered up with us here at EST.
And throw money on Draisaitl. Bobblehead night for Leon Draisaitl against the Nashville Predators. This to me just screams 3-point night for Leon Draisaitl. Personally, that's just a prediction. We'll see.
I think that's a good one. All right, let's go inside the Oilers locker room. Benny, I'll let you pick who we hear from first.
Yeah, there's two different storylines from each presser. We have McDavid and Knobloch. Since we're talking about goalies, we'll go to Knobloch because his quote about Ingram is a good one. And then, if we get to McDavid later, he said something that was interesting as well. So here's Chris Knobloch from the Rogers Place earlier today.
Yes, is it Ingram starting tonight?
Ingram is our starting goalie.
When it comes to you guys' road trip, 2-1-1, how would you, one, overall assess that road trip, and two, what are some of the things that you're hoping to get up to par, up to your guys' standard with this important 4-game homestand?
Overall, I thought we played a pretty good road trip. The first two played against two good teams, came away from the win. The Dallas game was obviously a letdown. I think it was... for numerous reasons. I just think that we weren't at our best, and the score indicated that. The St. Louis game, I thought we did a lot of good things. I thought we really did. I thought our lead should have been a lot higher than it was going in, and then ultimately we made a couple of mistakes and lost a point because of it. But for the most part, it was a pretty good road trip. There's a lot of simplicity. There's a lot of hard work, grittiness to our game, and we got to continue doing that.
A lot of positives to build off of, as you just mentioned, but how do you erase a couple of mistakes in the St. Louis games and just get right back to it?
Just having an attack mindset, not sit back. The second period we pretty much dominated, didn't give up much at all, maybe a shift, but we have to make sure that, the other team's going to always have pushes. You can't dominate 60 minutes. That's ridiculous, no matter who you're playing and how well you're playing. The other team's going to have their times. But, I thought we just maybe sat back and details got away from us.
Hey, Chris. Connor's approaching 400 goals. He'd be the third fastest player to get there. He's 2 away. We talked to him this morning about his shooting mentality, and he says that sometimes he still kind of falls back into that passing mode. What are you seeing out of him this year in terms of shooting the puck versus looking for that final play?
I think early in the year he was not shooting. I think you guys made it very clear that he wasn't shooting, and asked him a lot of questions about it, fired him up a little bit, and he went on a goal-scoring streak there. So, it's tough to say that you got to shoot more or not shoot. Every situation's different, but when he's on that attack mode, mentality of attacking, whether it's attacking or shooting, whatever you want, but when he's one, get the puck to the net, whether he's carrying it or shooting it, that's when he's really dangerous. And when he's on that attack mentality, the opposition usually has to have one or two defenders, have to at least one, if not a lot of times two. It usually opens up a lot of ice. So, the other night he had a great goal in St. Louis. Attack mentality, probably shooting where he doesn't usually shoot, top of the circles, he's got a good shot. He was able to capitalize on that. But I think that's the mentality he's got to have.
I just want to ask you about Nashville, a desperate team trying to claw their way back in the playoffs. I guess when you're playing teams like that, I know you guys play teams at the top of the standings, but now these teams kind of chasing you guys. How dangerous are those teams?
Every team in the NHL is good. It doesn't matter the situation, if they mean something. Sometimes, even if they're out of the race, it's an easy game for them to play. And you sometimes see some of their best hockey then. Nashville, I've got a lot of respect for. They're a good team. We just saw them in January when they were playing probably their best hockey throughout the season. They were on quite a run at that point. Right now, there's a lot of desperation. They're definitely not out of it. Right now, points are very important.
I know your team needs to play better defense in front of them, but you've got Tristan Jarry, whose numbers have been really rough lately. Chris, what's the right way to handle this player to try and get him on track so that he's more usable for you?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with with any player, whether it's a goal scorer, a shutdown defenseman, a goaltender, whatever. But probably more than anything in that position, a goaltender is his confidence. Being able to have confidence in making the save and the next play or whatever it is so crucial. And, when he came back from injury, he wasn't, he missed some time. He wasn't practicing. He was just getting in the groove. And yes, he was cleared and he was 100 or healthy, but it takes some time, and we weren't playing well in front of him. He wasn't playing well, and it just compounded into, deteriorating his game and ultimately deteriorating his confidence. So the only way you can pick that up and feel good about your game is to, starts and practices and doing the little things, working hard and building that, building your confidence through making the plays in practice, which will later translate over into games. So, I think he's a wonderful goaltender, and we're going to need him down the stretch. We can't run Ingram every single game as well as we like how he's playing right now. We're going to need both our goalies, and we'll need him to be at his best.
But fair to say, it needs to be a bit of a meritocracy here, like Connor Ingram will be viewed and treated as the starting goalie and get the starts that a starting goaltender would get, and as opposed to a 1A, 1B scenario here, like you're going to have to ride Ingram here?
Right now, we are going to be playing the best goalie.
All right, so, the best goalie is Connor Ingram.
Yep.
And that's him saying it in a nice way without, hurting Tristan Jarry's feelings. But it's good that he at least said, Jarry's game has not been good. And Shaggy threw the numbers out there. They're very bad, obviously. I think his save percentage, 855. Swainer sent that in on the postgame show the other day. Since he's joined the Oilers in his first 15 games as a member of the Oilers. And confidence, it's not there. And you can't even hide it and can't even sugarcoat it either. It's not happening for him. So good on Knobloch for saying it in a nice way that, Ingram's the guy, to the surprise of pretty much nobody.
Yep.
So good stuff there. Anything else, Benny, that caught your attention?
Obviously this whole talk is, I'm not surprised. I didn't expect Jarry to be this bad and have his confidence this low at this point in time of the year. But with how his play has been recently, I'm not surprised that we're talking about that Connor Ingram is your clear best option to win a hockey game. Yeah. And maybe this is a different situation if the Oilers are first in the Pacific and they already have 90 points and they're going to be able to cruise their way into a playoff spot. And you don't really got to worry about these next 15 games. But that isn't the case. The Oilers are, playing for their playoff lives here, basically. And I think they'll get in, but it's not a guarantee. And with that, you can't be playing around. And Connor Ingram, I can't even imagine the conversation we're having right now if the Oilers didn't pick up Connor Ingram at the start of the year. kind of we'll take a chance on this guy that's been pretty solid in his past, and kind of been a savior for this team in a way. I know it's crazy to talk about for a guy that doesn't have the best numbers or anything, but if he wasn't here, like, I can't even imagine what's going on here in Edmonton. So I mean, it's a really crappy situation the Oilers are in right now with those goalies. Mm-hmm. Will it figure itself out? I don't know. But at this current point, Connor Ingram is easily your best chance to win. You got to roll with him. Yep, absolutely. Side note, by the way, talk to the folks at Play Alberta. We have a new play back up on Play Alberta.
Look at you.
I know. Hey, look at this.
Oh my.
This. Leon bobblehead night play of the day is Draisaitl 3+ points plus 300. So if you're like me, that thinks that Leon Draisaitl will have a big night with the bobblehead mixing in with the Nashville Predators he's playing, I threw $20 on that. So I'm gonna sprinkle that right now just for you, buddy. Thank you, because I appreciate that. Yeah, you got 13 minutes to do it, so I'm doing it right now. If you got right now, if anyone listening wants to hop in, ride with me. I think Draisaitl will have a big night tonight. It's just it's lined up in the stars right now. This is just it's meant to be. Leon bobblehead night plus 300 is going to get a sprinkle. There's also how sweet it is parlay. Yep. Oilers versus Preds, 6+ goals. Draisaitl 1 goal. Murphy 2 block shots. Bouchard 1 point, and Ekholm +1 plus minus. Boosted to 12.25. Okay, that's getting a sprinkle, and Benny's play is also getting a sprinkle. Oh, well, all right, that would be a nice little payout. And then this one's getting a little sprinkle. I will use my game sense, not bet too much. And there we go. Bet slip has been accepted. Let's go. Boom. Done. Let's make some money. Thank you, Benny. Nicely done. Yeah, let's win some money. Let's have some fun. Turn it into a Sunday fun day. Quick note before we go back inside the Oilers locker room. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will play. Nice. Jack Michaels has the updated lines. Savoy will stay on the top line. Whoa. With Hyman on the other side, McDavid down the middle, Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Kapanen, Dickinson between Nugent-Hopkins and Roslovic, different look, and then Henrique centering Szymanski and Frederick. On defense, Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Murphy, Wallman with Stasny, and as we've been saying, Connor Ingram starts goal. Yeah, I like it. I thought Savoy looked good on that top line in St. Louis, man. I think he's been an improved player since that All-Star break or Olympic break, and I think he deserves the ice time. So good for him. I thought he looked good with McDavid and Hyman, and hopefully with bringing Nude down that third line, who's also good in his own end with Dickinson. They can be good in their own end, but also provide some secondary scoring with Roslovic on that other side. So I like it. I'm all for it. Oh. Okay, and an update for the Preds. I had UC Saros as the starter. It's actually going to be Justus Annunen getting the nod. There you go. Look at you little Finn. 26-year-old is 6-8-2 on the season, 315 goals against average, 888 save percentage in 20 games played. He has faced the Oilers just once. He's 1-0 with a 1.0 GAA, 962 save percentage. So Justus Annunen or say it. Yeah, there you go. Gets the nod for the Nashville Predators. There you go. Let's go back inside the Oilers locker room, and it's Connor McDavid we're going to hear from. Yep. Very nice. Okay. Connor McDavid from the locker room earlier today.
Really good games. Came out with 5 points. What was your assessment of it?
Yeah, some positives, I guess. Some, disappointed obviously to not close that one out there in St. Louis. Come away with the full 2 points, but thought we did some good things. Obviously, one bad one there in Dallas, but had 3 pretty good games.
That game in St. Louis was more of the defensive type of effort you guys wanted. Like you looked like you had tightened it up for most of that game.
Yeah, I thought besides the one game in Dallas, I thought we defended well all road trip.
You're approaching 400 goals. I know that's another milestone, but I just want to ask you about, you said at the beginning of the year you wanted to shoot the puck more. Do you feel like you're shooting the puck more this year? Are you kind of taking those opportunities in your mind as opposed to passing off maybe like in years past?
It's kind of gone in waves. There's been times where it's been good. There's been times where I've passed away opportunities, but it's been good and bad.
Is it a conscious thing with you trying to shoot more, or is it just something just looking for the best play?
I'm always just trying to make the right play, the best play. think for me it's more of just an assertive mindset, an aggressive mindset of shooting it and taking it to the net. That's what I'm at my best.
Connor, a little over 3 years ago, you acquired Matthias Ekholm from Nashville. He leads all NHL defensemen in plus minus since then. Can you maybe speak to, what he's brought to this team from a professionalism perspective, and how reassuring it is to have a player like that that's as composed as he is, and how he's improved the team?
He's been massive for us. Since the moment he walked in here, he's been a huge part of. Been a huge part of it. Really turned this whole thing in the right direction. Just with his play, and obviously with his presence in the room, his calmness in the room. Just a veteran guy that does everything right, and can't say enough good things.
It's not always a straight line to improvement. There's some ups and downs and bumps here. Are you seeing enough, in terms of defensive play being better by the group, even if it's come and gone a little bit? Do you feel like your template?
Well, I thought there was just one bad game on the road trip, as I said. I thought there was a lot more good than bad. Trying to take the positives from that, and we need to have a good homestand. We do. This is a big week for us.
This team has a little bit of a different shape and feel with some of the additions that you've made. You've got a guy like Savoy who's pushing his game to a new level. Do you sort of see some differences that are positive?
Yeah, there's positives. Obviously, I thought Savvy's played really well since the Olympic break. His game's really gone to another level. Dickinson's come in and been everything that he's been hyped up to be. And Murph, obviously, just a calming presence on the back end. So can't have enough. You can't have too many of those guys on the back end. Those big, steady guys. So the new additions have fit in well and have helped.
Last one for me. You know what ramping up at the right time looks and feels like. What you want this to be like as this regular season ends. How close do you think you are to getting there? How confident are you can get there?
Well, we got to ramp up just to get in. This is a playoff race, and we're in the thick of it. And there's 15 games left, and we got to get our game going and get in. Nothing else should be on our mind other than that.
Do you have to look out for the star players in the wake of Matthews, Denis, Udis, hitting back?
I think the player safety has done their best. It's not an easy thing to do. With that being said, I think that there is reason to take a look at how the whole process works. If every time there's a suspension, everybody complains about it. Well, why don't we take a look at the process and figure out if there's a better way to make sure that both parties are happy, because it seems like there's a lot of frustration there.
Many interests around as well, the owners, the GMs. They're in it too. Well, you can't suspend our player for too much, so they've.
I can't speak to that. I'm not an owner. I'm not a GM. I'm a player, and I can say that from the player perspective, I think every time there is a suspension, most times there's a suspension, there is a lot of frustration from the player side. So why don't we take a look at the process and figure out a way that works for everybody?
There you go, Connor McDavid. Not giving a lot of love to player safety.
Nope.
And he said it in a roundabout way. But fair point. Like 5 games for Gudas after a knee that takes out one of the league's better players. I'm not going to say one of its best players in Austin Matthews.
Better, but could be career altering. Like that's an injury that sometimes guys don't come back and are the same after. And
it's a year of healing.
Yes. This will go play into next season.
Yeah.
Off of a knee-on-knee hit that this guy has a track record of doing dirty plays. So to give him 5 games, I know. I'm with a lot of people there. I think it's pretty ridiculous that that's all he got.
I agree. And he has a rap sheet. So interesting. And then the other thing that really stood out to me, what McDavid said is let's go time. 15 games left. They need to get in the playoffs. And you're looking at the playoff picture right now. Nashville 3 points back coming into tonight from a wild card 2 spot in the West. Just 3-4-3 in the last 10 games are the Preds. So this is an important game for them too, for the Oilers, trying to keep pace with Anaheim and Vegas and maybe hunt them down. Who knows? But it's very important. There's no more time for messing around here. get it done, man. And the Preds are going to be hungry as well. Also, just out of town scores. People are talking about Ottawa. They beat the San Jose Sharks 7-4, so that's a good thing. Jets 3-2 winners over the Blues. And then the Ducks continue to lead the Habs 1-0 after one period of play. Minnesota hosting Toronto. No score there. First period, 7 minutes remain. And then you got the Oilers and the Preds. The Panthers are in Seattle and just 6 games on the schedule tonight. Benny Thompson, any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I mean, this is just like, I feel like I've been beating this drum for the past couple of weeks, but this is just the situation they're in. This is, like, I won't say a must-win game tonight, but pretty high stakes. It would be really nice to capitalize on a team that's, I would like to think the Oilers are better than. Just if they play a similar style in a similar way they did against St. Louis in the first 50 minutes of that game, I like their chances of winning this one. If they play like they did in the final 10, yeah, there's a chance they lose tonight. So I mean, it's up to them which way they play. So, this one's an important one. Let's see if they get it done.
Well said. Matt Nanaimo really quickly texting and asking, do the Oilers still have access to George Mumford? Maybe that could help some of the boys out. Jari, Wallman, Nurse, AL. I'll tell you this, Matt Nanaimo, I have not seen him around this year at all. So I'm assuming maybe they don't have him around because he was prevalent a couple of years ago.
Yeah, was he with them last
you
year?
would see him.
I think
it was
the first cup run they went. He was there.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he isn't cheap either.
Yeah.
And I know the first reaction to that would be, well, the owner's a billionaire and they're the third most profitable sports franchise in the world.
Yes.
They're tight with their budgets, though. I'll tell you that much. They're surprisingly. So I have not seen George Mumford around. Maybe, that would be something they could look at or reconsider, bring him in for some of those guys, but he has not been around all season, basically. Good question, though, Matt Nanaimo, and I think that's a fair question, too. I think, hey, got to try something to help these guys get back on track. But Paul Coffey's supposed to be that, too. Like, he's kind of the hard ass that, like, hey, let's go. One of his other things is like if guys are reluctant to go out for an optional skate or a morning skate, he's like, no, you're getting out there. We need you to get your ass in gear here. So he could play bad cop, but sometimes you need the guy that can get in your head and sort things out. And I have not seen George Mumford. But Matt, that's a valid question. All right, that's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Big thank you to everybody who listened, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, of course, audio player on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. And to those who watched, we appreciate you guys so very much. Oilers and Preds, important 2 points on the line for both teams. And we'll see if the Oil can get it down, bounce back from that 3-2 overtime loss in St. Louis. For Joaquin Gage, for Benny Thompson, I'm Tom Gazzola saying enjoy the Oilers and Predators. We'll see you on the postgame show.